Ever heard of dry January? I'm sure you have at this point. Dry January is a month of no adult beverages. My husband and I have actually done this for multiple years now, and even a dry July, mostly because it rhymes. We have always gone into these months of sobriety with determination to change the tradition of ending the day with a nightcap and relying on alcohol to relax. But even if we make it through the full month, we typically go right back to our old habits. Now, this is the most basic thing that's ever come out of my mouth, but I wanted to make a big change for 2020. Hear me out. 2019 had a lot of ups and downs. I became a newlywed. I left a toxic job and found two that I love. I got my personal trainer certification and had the balls to start a YouTube channel. But the downs were low. I mean, low. Pneumonia, vocal nodules, a summer schedule that nearly killed me. No wonder my drinking increased overall. While I don't feel like I'm an alcoholic by any means, I do feel that I have some toxic habits when it comes to alcohol. And I really wanted to fix that for the new year, but I wasn't quite sure how to go about it because every dry month we had done in the past had just left me really craving a whiskey on the rocks by the end of the night. The alcohol experiment. I actually saw my friend Carrie post about this book, so I was pretty intrigued. I decided to buy a copy on Amazon and attempt to make dry January actually mean something this year. The next 30 days became educational, but also slightly disappointing. Just keep on watching. So it is day one of the alcohol experiment challenge. Every day in the book, she does have a different chapter, something for you to focus on, something for you to work on. And day one was what's your why? So basically, why are you doing this? And she did have us write down a few things. She had us make two different lists. Why do you drink? And why do you want to do the alcohol experiment? One of the reasons is not because I think I'm an alcoholic, but I think that this is such a taboo thing that a lot of people don't talk about. Alcohol is so widely accepted, and if you are taking a break from it or abstaining from it, I feel like everyone's first thought is, well, you have a problem. Where maybe you do have a problem, but maybe it's not that you're an alcoholic and need to join AA. Maybe you just have kind of a warped mindset around alcohol because of society. I do just want to share a few of the things I wrote down, like two lists. Why do I drink? I feel like these are really common. It relaxes me after a long day. It's fun. I like how it feels. It makes me more comfortable in social settings. That one I definitely feel like. I like how it tastes. It bonds me with my family. My family on both sides are big drinkers around the holidays, and that's when I typically see them. So it feels like it's a social thing. And then this was an interesting one. It gives me the ability to sit still. We'll talk about that. So then why do I want to do this experiment? I want to wake up a little easier. I always feel like if I have had any alcohol the night before, I have a really hard time waking up no matter how much sleep I've gotten. I get more done without alcohol. So alcohol, the ability to sit still, it really just gives me the ability to sit into the couch. And I don't know if that's necessarily, it's not that it's not healthy, but I feel like there should be another way for me to relax. Sometimes I get mean or dumb when I drink. I feel like other people can relate to that. I don't always remember conversations if I've been drinking, getting hungover, saving money, that's a big one. I will say during the day, I don't really have an issue with thinking about it. It's always the end of a long day. So today I got up, I got some work done, I worked out, I took down our Christmas tree, I cleaned, I'm about to do laundry. I just got done filming a workout video, which is why I look like trash. More work, and then I have to go teach 2 classes. And at the end of all of that, that's when my brain is like, you deserve a drink. You deserve to relax. So it's gonna be interesting trying to change my mindset around that for 30 days. That's my biggest goal, undo in my brain that alcohol equals relaxing, because that's when I start to turn to it, and I'd love to have something else to turn to. So that's day one. All right, so this is week 1 check-in, or week 1.5, because I've been pretty busy, but I'm on day 11 right now. I mean, look, I have done dry months before, so I'm kind of used to what I'm feeling right now. But I will say I was hoping to be a little bit more like shook throughout the whole thing, but I'm not. I mean, there's some like really interesting snippets that I do want to share. I'm finding a lot of the science stuff really interesting so far. Also, I know I sound terrible. I literally have been on vocal rest since 11 a.m. today, and it's now almost 5 o'clock, and my voice isn't warm, and I taught all morning. If you want to know about my vocal health, you can watch this video up here. All right, anyway. So something I did find interesting that was from one of the first few days was about the taste of alcohol. So one of the reasons that I wrote down on day one of like why I drink is because I like the taste of alcohol. So it encouraged you to think back to the first time you drank and what you thought of the taste, and 9 times out of 10, unless it was like a masked, you know, really fruity drink, you probably thought it was gross. And it's literally because it's poison. It's ethanol. You're drinking poison. You're drinking ethanol. So it basically talked about how your body as a defense mechanism is like, this is gross because it's poison, get it out. But eventually if you keep drinking it, your body is like, all right, well, I guess this is the norm, so I'm just gonna kind of like adapt to it. So I thought that was interesting. Another like science thing that I actually thought was interesting, so I definitely have like had a sweet tooth recently. I have had really bad sugar cravings, and at first I was like, oh, it's just because I'm like replacing the reward of having a drink at the end of the night. I'm gonna like have a cookie or 2 or 3 instead. And I was actually reading in here on day 10, so yesterday, sugar cravings are really common because eating sugar produces huge levels of dopamine, and the alcohol also produces levels of dopamine when you first start drinking it. So that's where that's coming from. The whole point of the book is to understand that you have 2 different feelings about alcohol. So you have this feeling of like, I know I shouldn't because I know it's bad for me, but then you have this like want to do it because of the reasons that you listed. So it's really about undoing the reasons that you listed, explaining to your brain and really believing, I don't like the taste of alcohol. It doesn't relax me. It doesn't help me go to sleep, whatever it might be, so that there's no conflict between your 2 frames of mind, and then like you're good. You know, the issue is that I'm just finding it interesting so far. Yeah, I haven't had like a aha moment yet, and I kind of wanted that. Tonight will actually be a good test because it is my work Christmas party. I know it's January 11th or 12th. We are doing like going out to dinner and drinks and our Secret Santa, and I'm not drinking. I will say tonight will be interesting because I usually, and I have done this, I seclude myself during dry months. I'm just like, oh, well, I'll catch up with you next month because I'm not drinking right now. It makes no sense. Like, I can catch up with friends without a bottle of wine being involved. So as far as expectations, you know, she talks a lot like whether you keep going with this for another 30 days, so whether you make it a 60-day or 90-day or like everyday challenge. I don't see myself giving up alcohol altogether. I would love at the end of this to really be a little more like regimented and schedule my drinking. No, but just like I've been trying, slightly failing, but it's because my schedule has been changing at my different jobs this month, but I've been trying to really abide to like a set weekly schedule. Like every Sunday is this, every Monday is this, every Tuesday is this, and so on and so forth. Hi, Zoe. So I think a really good thing for me to put in place would be no alcohol the night before that I have to teach the next day. Pretty sure my cat's licking her hoo-ha. This is great. I'm really gonna kill it in views with this one. All right, let's go to Christmas party in January. Hello everybody. We are back with week 2.5 update. What day are we on? Okay, this is like the 3-week update. So we're almost all the way there. You know, I will still say, like, I'm finding the science behind everything still really interesting, but I'm really not like life changed yet. We got 10 days left, we'll see. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting was actually talking about alcohol and parenting. Not a parent. This passage that said, by drinking to relieve stress from parenting or anything else, you've literally rewired your brain to believe that's the only way you can survive it. Another thing that I really resonated with, and I think probably resonates with a lot of people as well, was actually someone's, like, they have these like reflections. They're feeling good, finally sleeping really well. They don't have physical cravings for alcohol, but sometimes they still have what they call routine cravings, which is when I perform a task that I used to associate with alcohol, such as watching TV or movies or just relaxing on the patio in the evenings. During these moments, it just feels like something is missing, but I'm not missing alcohol at all or its negative effects, and looking forward to creating a new routine for myself. That's something that definitely resonates with me. Like, as I'm sitting, I'm just like, oh, I'm like, something just feels like it's missing. You know, I would usually be watching this show with like a drink in my hand. So obviously I've been replacing it with candy. I'm having a little bit of like a dilemma because the book is kind of like manifesty, but I was expecting more. But like a lot of the ACT technique is just like write down your belief. So like your belief is that alcohol relaxes you. Now write the opposite of that every way that you can. So alcohol doesn't relax me. Alcohol stresses me out. Like, I don't know, none of it has been, and I've been trying it, but none of it has been resonating with me. Like, that technique just isn't working, and I understand the difference. Like, you want to align your conscious with your subconscious want so that there's no, like, clash there. Ow. But it's not working. We did it! This is 4 days into whatever comes after. I'm very glad that I did this. So I know that I've been kind of wishy-washy the entire time. I will say the book was a little disappointing in general. I just don't think it like knew what it wanted to be. It felt like it was kind of trying to hit lots of things to maybe see, you know, what kind of stuck or what resonated with people. But that didn't work for me. By the last few days, I will say I really was buying into it a lot more. And something that she talks about in the very, very beginning, which I don't think I actually mentioned, was that willpower is not an infinite resource. Like, people talk about being motivated and having willpower over things, and you run out of that. Like, it's finite. So in day 28, she talks about the truth about moderation, which is what I am practicing now. And she said, you know, that's fine, but you need to make clear lines in the sand, because moderation means that you're always making decisions. And remember, your decisions are part of your willpower, and you run out of willpower, which is why by the end of the day, after I felt really good in the morning and really determined, by the end of it, after my 14-hour workday, I want to drink. And I've been making decisions all day long, so my willpower is very, very small. So by drawing clear lines in the sand about when you will be drinking or what is allowed, what are your non-negotiables, that is the way to make moderation successful. So that's that. I am really glad I did this. This was probably the very first successful dry month that I feel like I've had. Not only did I make it the whole way, but I feel like it was worth something. I feel like I can actually apply some things that I learned and make a real change. So I'm excited, and that was it. Let me know if you guys have ever done a dry month, if you've read this book, if you've done this experiment, what your thoughts are. And I'm actually gonna be doing a challenge like this every month for the next year, because apparently I think I'm Matt Devella. So anyway, if you wanna not miss those, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys all soon.